My name is Cynthia Mitchell. I'm 27, and my parents dragged me into court. Mom sobbed on cue. Dad nodded too. They told Judge Harrison I stole their business idea. I sat perfectly still. The courtroom smelled like old wood and broken promises. Filings sat stacked in front of him. My lawyer, Catherine Wells, stayed calm. She warned me they'd invent an origin story, because discovery would expose what talking never could. Judge Harrison flipped page after page. Then he stopped. He looked up slowly. I read about this company in Forbes last week, he said. My mother froze mid-sniffle. My father tightened. In that moment, I understood the truth. This wasn't about justice. It was about control. Before we go on, where are you listening from today? A quiet kitchen, a parked car, or a room you finally own? This is Echoes of Life, and I'm here with you. 7 months earlier, they filed the lawsuit in spring. They wanted 60% of my company's equity. Not cash. Control. They claimed I stole their revolutionary software concept. They said they funded it with retirement savings. They said I was lazy, entitled, a daughter who wasted every opportunity. Catherine told me to expect that script. She said discovery would do the talking, because facts don't flinch when people perform. Here's what they left out. I've supported myself since I was 17. The day after graduation, Dad gave me a deadline. Get a job, pay rent, or leave. I left. I worked fast food mornings and retail nights. I took community college classes after closing shifts. They refused to fill out aid forms. So I paid the price in hours. When I was 20, I got pneumonia. No insurance. I called Mom from the ER. She told me to be more careful with my health, because they couldn't afford to help. Then I found coding. Free tutorials, library Wi-Fi, a used laptop that overheated every hour. I cleaned offices at night at a small tech startup. I watched engineers talk product, quietly taking notes. That's where true managed solutions began. Not in my parents' living room, not in their notebooks, in coffee-stained spreadsheets and midnight commits. They also didn't mention their business help. It wasn't a startup plan. It was a supplement pyramid scheme. They wanted me to recruit friends, sell lies, and call it entrepreneurship. When I said no, they called me ungrateful. Then they disappeared. Until Forbes printed my name. And now, in court, they were rewriting history. But Catherine had the paper trail. Timestamps. Certified mail. Bank records. And one letter they forgot could be used against them. Discovery didn't feel like a fight. It felt like a slow drain. Every story they told got thinner. Every deadline forced real answers. Catherine called it early. They'll bluff until paper shows up, she said. And paper always shows up. In Discovery, they had to bring proof. Drafts, emails, notes, anything that existed before my build. They produced nothing, not one sketch, not one prototype, not one invoice for development. So they pivoted to storytelling, a napkin concept, a late-night brainstorm, a family whiteboard session. Catherine asked for dates and locations. They couldn't agree. My mom said summer. My dad said winter. Their answers changed under oath. Then they tried a new angle. They said I backdated everything. They said I hacked timestamps. Catherine didn't debate emotions. She answered with systems. Third-party records don't care about family drama. She slid a binder onto the table. My domain registration, my LLC formation, my provisional patent filings. All in my name. Then the code repositories. Every commit. Verified timestamps going back years. She added bank records too. Server bills. App subscriptions. Tax filings. Payments from early beta clients. Judge Harrison kept turning pages. Quiet. Like he was reading a receipt. Then he stopped, lifted his glasses, and looked straight at me. Wait, he said. I read about this company in Forbes last week. My mother's sobs stalled mid-performance. My father's jaw tightened. Even their attorney blinked. The judge remembered details. The janitor job. The library Wi-Fi. The months I slept in my car. Discovery is allergic to imagination. It wants dates. It wants documents. It wants signatures. Catherine turned to Exhibit C, a certified letter from my parents. Notarized. Sent 3 years ago. In it, they called my work a foolish computer project. They said I embarrassed the family. They said they wouldn't acknowledge me as their daughter. Judge Harrison read it twice, then looked up, irritated. You condemned her for building this, he said. And now you claim you created it? My father tried to talk fast. We had the idea, he insisted. We needed her for the technical part. The judge asked one simple question. What was the idea exactly? Silence. Then vague words. Business management tool. Nothing specific? Nothing technical? Nothing real? Right here, I need to ask you something. Not to derail the story, just to name the pattern. If you've ever had someone rewrite your story, this is Echoes of Life. Comment 1 if you built it anyway. Comment 2 if they tried to take the result. Then Catherine said, Your Honor. And everything started to collapse. Catherine didn't start with opinions. She started with timestamps. She handed the judge a clean development timeline. Domain registration, provisional patents, incorporation papers, and a code repository history that didn't blink. Judge Harrison flipped pages slower than before. His eyes stopped moving for a second. Then he looked up at my parents. So you created this software, he said. Tell me what exactly you created. My father opened his mouth, closed it, tried again. Gerald Porter jumped in with something vague. A business management tool for small companies. The judge didn't even sigh. That's not a concept, he said. That's a category. He leaned forward. Front end or back end? Silence. Programming language? More silence. Algorithm, workflow, interface, database schema? My mother's tissue froze mid-dab. That's when I remembered discovery. 7 months of it. They had my Git history, my filings, my contracts, my receipts. On Echoes of Life, I call it documentation over drama. And discovery was all documentation. If you're going to lie under oath, you'd think you'd at least write a better script. Catherine stayed polite, almost gentle. Your Honor, she said. The plaintiffs also claim they funded early development. She slid my bank statements into evidence. Pay stubs, tax returns, lease agreements. A whole paper trail that said one thing. I was alone. Then Catherine pulled one more document. A certified letter. Notarized. Sent by my parents. Judge Harrison read it line by line. His jaw tightened. It was the letter where they disowned me. Because my computer project was nonsense. Because I needed a real job. Because they were embarrassed. He set it down like it weighed something. You condemned her for building this company, he said. And now you want 60% of it. My mother started crying for real, not regret. Fear. My father tried to pivot. We had the idea, he insisted. We just needed her to build it. Judge Harrison's voice turned sharp. An idea is not intellectual property, he said. And parenting is not a business partnership. Gerald asked for a recess. His voice was thin. Judge Harrison didn't move. I don't see what changes during recess, he said. You've produced no credible evidence. Catherine didn't celebrate. She just kept walking the facts forward. And there's more, she said. After the Forbes coverage, they contacted my client. My stomach tightened. I knew what was coming. Catherine held up a slim folder. A recorded phone call, she said, with proper notice. Admissible in this state. The courtroom went quiet in a different way. Like everyone suddenly remembered how to breathe. Judge Harrison nodded once. Play it, he said. Catherine connected a small speaker. A single ring echoed off old wood. Then my own voice filled the room. This call is being recorded. The recording ended. The courtroom stayed frozen, like everyone forgot to breathe. My mother's sweet voice was gone. My father's was sharp and entitled. And my own voice sounded older than I felt. Judge Harrison didn't look impressed. He looked offended. Like the lie had wasted his time. He leaned forward. Did you just hear yourselves? His tone was controlled, but cutting. He said their rights talk mattered. It explained everything. They weren't here for truth. They were here for leverage. Gerald Porter tried to stand. He asked for room to clarify intent. His hands shook over his legal pad. Judge Harrison shut him down. This isn't an IP dispute, he said. It's extortion wearing a suit, and we had gone through discovery. Months of it. Subpoenas, depositions, server logs. Every deadline gave them another chance. If they had proof, it would show. Instead, they brought tears and guesses. My stomach clenched at that word. Extortion. Because it fit too perfectly. Catherine stood again, calm, precise, unshakable. Your Honor, there's more. She submitted the first demand letter. From their original attorney, Richard Stevens. It offered a deal. Pay them $250,000. They'd sign a release, no claims, no threats, no contact. I had refused, not out of pride, out of survival. Catherine explained what happened next. Stevens withdrew. He cited ethical concerns in his filing. Then my parents found Porter. And suddenly the demand changed shapes. Cash turned into equity. A bigger bite after the numbers went public. Catherine reminded the court of timing. They called me after Forbes ran the feature, after the Series B headlines spread, after valuation became gossip. Only then did they remember my name. Judge Harrison read the withdrawal paperwork. Then he read the demand letter again. His jaw tightened. He looked at my parents. You tried to buy her silence, he said. When she said no, you sued. My mother opened her mouth. Nothing came out. Her tears looked real now, but still strategic. My father stayed standing too long. Judge Harrison ordered him to sit. He sat stiff, like he'd been snapped into place. Catherine asked for dismissal with prejudice, and sanctions for a frivolous filing. Her voice never rose. The judge nodded once. Then he spoke like he was ending a chapter. Dismissed with prejudice, he said. You cannot refile these claims. He turned one page. Legal fees, $42,000, he added. Paid in full by the plaintiffs. My mother gasped. My father's face darkened. Then Judge Harrison went further. He issued a protective order. No direct contact, no indirect contact, no interference with my business. He raised his gavel. Any violation brings contempt, he said. The sound of that gavel was clean. Not revenge, relief. The gavel sound followed me out into sunlight. My hands were shaking, but my spine stayed straight. Catherine walked beside me, calm as ever. Protective order, fees. It's over, she said. Behind us, my parents looked suddenly small. Not victims. Just people caught lying in public. My father called my name on the courthouse steps. I didn't turn back right away. You cut me out years ago, I said. Today just made it official. The order stays unless I lift it. For once, peace has paperwork. And that feels like safety, not punishment. That night, my team met me downtown. Austin raised a glass. To Cynthia, and to what she built. I laughed for the first time in months. Not because I won, because I was free. I didn't countersue for damages. I didn't need their money. I needed my time back, and my mind back. The next morning, I answered one email. A reporter wanted the story. I agreed with one condition. No revenge headline, just the truth. Discovery happened, and the lies still didn't survive. I wanted other builders to hear this. Success isn't a family savings account. DNA isn't an invoice. Love doesn't threaten you under oath. I framed my first $25 subscription receipt again. A reminder that everything started with stubborn faith. Then I opened my laptop and went back to work. A new feature, a new client, a clean future. If this hit home for you, please like, share, and subscribe to Echoes of Life. And keep choosing boundaries over guilt.